Some seasons of growth feel active. You can see the progress. You can feel momentum. There's a sense of direction and clarity, and it seems like everything is moving forward. This episode is about the other seasons. The quiet seasons. The ones where nothing seems to be changing, no matter how hard you try. You keep waiting for breakthrough. You keep waiting for transformation. You hope the work that you're doing inside of yourself will eventually show up on the outside. But day after day, everything looks exactly the same. And it can be one of those most discouraging parts of growth and leadership. That gap between effort and evidence. Between what you hope is happening and what you can actually see. Because even when you're doing the right things, even when your intentions are good, even when you feel something shifting beneath the surface, there are long stretches where nothing seems to confirm it. Today, we're going to go inside that gap because what feels like frustration, delay, or wasted effort may be the slow formation preparing you for the season you were actually made for. The one that's aligned with your purpose, not your timeline. And here's the part that most people don't realize. Sometimes the development happening in you right now isn't for this season at all. It's for a future moment, a season you can't see yet, but one that will make sense once you step into it. Many of the gifts, strengths, and desires that feel unused today aren't being wasted. They're just being aged. The development that you're frustrated with today may be exactly what your future leadership is going to require. When whiskey is poured into a barrel, it begins a transformation that can't be rushed. Some of the notes that define a great whiskey take years to rise. They develop slowly as the spirit expands and contracts through heat and cold, through seasons, through time and pressure. And no matter how much you want the process to move faster, the whiskey is not ready until the whiskey is ready. If you bottle it too early, the notes haven't had time to become what they're meant to be. You could drink the whiskey, you could even taste where it was headed, but it hasn't reached the season it was aging for. It's a version of itself, just not the one that time and pressure were preparing it to become. Every distiller understands this tension. Aging isn't about making the whiskey older. It's about making it complete, bringing forward character that only time can uncover. And the barrel plays a crucial role. It's more than just a container. The wood interacts with the spirit, drawing out flavor, softening edges, and deepening color, and creating depth that was impossible before aging began. But even the barrel has its limits. It can transform what's there, but it can't make the whiskey something it was never meant to be. Our lives work the same way. We are shaped by the environments that we grow up in and the environments that we choose. Some we enter willingly, some we stay in for too long, and some we have no choice but to endure for a season. And all of them shape us. They draw strengths out of us. They develop resilience or insight or compassion or conviction. And for those who lead, these environments often reveal qualities we didn't know we would need later on. But our environments, just like the barrel, can't define who we become. They influence us, but they don't determine our identity. Some notes inside of us were always there, just waiting. Waiting for maturity, waiting for alignment, waiting for purpose, waiting for the moment when they could finally come forward. Which brings me to a story that began when I was about 12. When I was about 12 years old, I taught myself how to play guitar. Long before the internet or tutorials, it was just me and a guitar that was awkward in my hands, just trying to figure out what sounded good just by listening to records over and over again. Back then, the guitar wasn't about meaning. It was just exciting. It made me imagine a different version of myself. To a teenager, playing the guitar meant possibility and performance and crowds. I wanted to be a rock star. But when I left for college, the guitar stayed home. And then life moved on. Responsibilities took over, and without any dramatic moment, the dream just disappeared from view. The guitar sat idle, and eventually I forgot it was even there. Like many of us, I assumed silence meant the dream was not meant for me, that it had just been a phase, a childhood idea, something that belonged to a younger version of me. Decades went by like that. Then sometime around 45, something stirred. A quiet prompting, a sense that it was time to pick up the guitar again. Not to chase the old dream, but to follow a whisper. It started with playing a few songs with the band at a small church. That led to joining a worship team, which led to a mission in the Czech Republic, where I taught teenagers guitar while we shared the gospel. And eventually, I did find myself on a massive stage, playing in front of thousands of people. It was exactly what my teenage self once imagined. But here's what surprised me. Standing on that stage didn't feel like fulfillment. It didn't feel like purpose. It actually felt incomplete. For years, I thought the silence meant that dream had died. But silence isn't the same thing as death. Some dreams don't disappear. They age. They wait. They change shape as we change shape. They mature as we mature. My dream had to age because I had to age. Not so I can become someone different, but to become more of who I was created to be. I needed the time and pressure. I needed disappointment. I needed growth. I needed a deeper hunger for significance before the notes inside of me could rise up in the right way. Only then could the guitar mean something different in my hands. Only then could purpose begin to make sense. And that purpose looked nothing like the dream that I had imagined when I was a kid. But we'll return to that a little bit later. One of the hardest parts of leadership is the waiting. The waiting between who you feel you are becoming and the season that has not shown up yet. The waiting between your capability and the opportunity that hasn't opened up. The waiting between knowing you can lead at a higher level, but not being invited to it yet. And here's the part that a lot of leaders struggle with. You can be ready, but not released. This shows up in a lot of places. A leader who outgrows their role, but the organization hasn't caught up. A director feels the internal pull towards strategy, but is still treated as a tactician. A senior leader who matures beyond the demands of their environment, but the next assignment is yet to be revealed. It's not always misalignment. Sometimes it's just aging. Distillers know this tension well. 2 barrels from the same batch, same mash bill, same rick house can age at completely different speeds. One matures early. One takes a decade longer. Not because they did something wrong, but because the environment is doing something different inside each one. Leadership works in the same way. Some leaders grow into their purpose early. Others take longer because deeper notes are developing. The kind that require pressure and patience and seasons where no one sees the internal work that's happening. There is another tension. Sometimes the environment has already done all it can for you. Internally, you've changed. Externally, nothing matches. Your values no longer fit the pace. Your identity has shifted, but your surroundings still treat you like the earlier version of yourself. Distillers understand this tension too. A barrel can sit too long in the rickhouse. The aging starts to become aggressive. The environment pushes it past what it was meant to become. And the distiller recognizes it's time to move the barrel. Many leaders feel this same prompting, but misinterpret it as being stuck or behind. Most of the time, they're not stuck. They're aging. They're developing the wisdom that cannot be learned quickly. They're forming convictions that pressure alone can reveal. They're becoming the person their future leadership is going to require of them. And for leaders who are in that tension between what they've built and what they're built for, a deeper question rises up. Did I miss my moment? Is it too late? Did time run out on what I was supposed to do? The funny thing is that no distiller fears that. They know you can't be late for a season if it's still forming you. Some barrels are meant for early release. Some are meant for long aging. And a rare few become single barrel expressions because the slow work made them extraordinary. Your leadership isn't behind, it's becoming. What feels like delay might actually be development. What feels like misalignment may be a signal that your environment has finished its work. What feels like nothing's happening may be the quiet formation of significance. So back to my story, the purpose behind my music was revealed in a place that was very different from the stages that I once imagined. Most nights it happens around a fire pit. Just me, an acoustic guitar, and a glass of whiskey. And the kind of space where people can let their guard down. The songs I play are simple, nothing polished, but something happens there. The guitar becomes a doorway into honesty, reflection, worship, and connection. I've watched fear soften, pain surface, faith awaken, and friendships deepen in ways that felt almost sacred. That's when I realized this. For me, the guitar was never meant to take me to success. It was meant to take me to significance. That note inside of me was never waiting for a stage. It was waiting for purpose. And that purpose had nothing to do with crowds, but everything to do with connection. The years of silence, the delay, the longing, the timing that wasn't mine, all of it was aging the note. All of it was preparing me to carry it with humility and depth. It took me years, decades to see it. But this was the real dream all along. If you're in a season where progress feels delayed or direction feels unclear, it's easy to assume that you are waiting on your purpose. But your purpose has been there the whole time. Sometimes we just need time to grow into the version of ourselves who can carry it well. Distillers know how tempting it is to open a barrel early, to check on the progress, to taste the promise before it's ready. but forcing the timing only distorts the outcome. So they stay attentive, they watch, they trust the process, and they let time do what only time can do. Maybe this is the same for you. Maybe you're not waiting on clarity. Maybe clarity is waiting on you. Waiting for your identity, maturity, and purpose to all rise at the same time. Maybe the environment that you're in is shaping you the way the barrel shapes the whiskey, bringing forward notes you didn't know were there. You're not waiting on purpose. You're being prepared for it. Not changed into someone else, but growing into who you were created to be. And when that alignment happens, when the notes inside of you finally rise to meet the moment, well, that's where significance begins. Before we close, I want to leave you with a few tasting notes. Just like a good pour invites reflection, these questions are meant to help you pay attention to what's forming in you right now. Where do you feel the urge to open your barrel too soon? And what might still be developing beneath the surface? What parts of you went quiet for too long? And could that silence have been aging rather than absence? What signs or prompts in your life might be telling you that purpose isn't missing, it's maturing? Keep in mind that you're not waiting to become someone else. You're becoming who you were created to be. Wherever you are in your season, remember this. You're not waiting for your life to start. You're being shaped for something that will matter. Something with weight. Something with purpose. And remember, clarity isn't found. It's crafted. Thanks for listening to Crafted Clarity. If you're a leader wrestling with the tension between success and significance, or you're trying to align your work with a deeper calling, I'd love to connect with you. If your organization is facing questions about strategy, whether it's alignment, ROI, or building confidence in your team, this is the work we do every day at iBrand. And if you walk this journey yourself, or maybe you're right in the middle of it, I'd love to hear your story and maybe even share it here on the podcast. You can find me at craftedclarity.net.